Hello to all of you unconventional conventionists. It's time for an RKOCon 4 update from your 2022 Rocky Horror Picture Show Convention Masters, the RKOArmy. As always, it's coming to you direct from us, the crew over at the Rocky Talkie podcast.
Woo.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
But it's not just us this time. For this announcement, we are honored to be able to include a very, very special guest, the devastatingly talented and breathtakingly beautiful Rowen Camor.
Hey, so happy to be here.
This announcement is even hotter than last time, and so fresh it's literally being taken out of the oven right now, as of this announcement.
Okay, this is it, Rowen. Are you ready to make this humongous RKO announcement to the whole entire world?
Drumroll, please.
Hedwig.
Woo!
Yeah.
They said Hedwig!
Oh my god!
It's the word!
They said Hedwig.
Yeah, so Hedwig, essentially, for those of you who do not know, is a rock musical in the same vein, and I'll only call it here, it's the same vein of Rocky Horror, only because it says so on the back of the DVD. It is a cult rock musical about a genderqueer rock performer from East Berlin who underwent an unwanted botched sex change operation, leaving them with an angry Ange. That is where the title comes from. Essentially, the movie follows their story as they basically talk about their life and their tragedy through song, and it is absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend it for anyone who hasn't seen it before, especially with the newest 4K remaster. And we're going to do it at RKO 4 for the first time ever. It has never been done at a RockyCon previously. This is going to be the first ever debut of it.
Ah!
Oh my god! No, we didn't explain
Oh my
it.
god,
It's
oh my god, oh my
crazy.
god.
They said Hedwig.
Multiple times!
Oh my god, this is so exciting. I am personally a huge Hedwig fan, and it's going to be just amazing to get to see it, especially now with an all-star con version.
So, as you said, Rowen, this will be the first time Hedwig will be performed at a con. So what made you decide to do one now?
Well, it was something that was often requested for us to do at our con. As you know, RKOCon is pretty famous for bringing together lots of alternate productions outside of Rocky. As you might know, we currently do Dr. Horrible, Shock Treatment, Repo the Genetic Opera, etc. Hedwig was at the top of the list for a long time. A lot of people wanted to perform in this show and never have before because their casts don't do it. So, in turn, after lots of talks with Roy, we decided to bring it to con.
Is this your first time directing or acting in a Hedwig show? Have you done it before? If so, who did you play?
So, funny enough, I originated the Shadowcast at RKO back in, I want to say, 2018, early 2018. And I had originated the Shadowcast as directing it as well as playing Hedwig, along with a few other RKO cast members that are also casting this with me. Now, I originally played Hedwig, although I have veered off, and I play basically any role where, at this point, I can just fill into.
This sounds amazing, Rowen. I am so here for it. Tell me, who else from RKO is working with you?
So, who else is casting the show with me would be 13 of RKOArmy. She has been my right-hand person throughout basically all of my process of doing Hedwig. While I've been being the casting director and directing it, she's also just kind of been in the back of my head helping me with everything. So I'm very happy to have her helping me with this as well.
I'm super curious. What part of putting this show together are you most excited about?
Well, I'm really excited to see other people other than just RKO performers do the show. Even though I had directed it in 2018 and we've been doing it at RKO for so long, I myself have never actually seen another cast perform this show. I know it gets done by a few others, but I personally have never seen anybody other than us do it. So it's going to be really exciting to see the community come together and really just embrace this cult film to its best degree.
Awesome. So, do you foresee any major challenges for this show? Like, is there a way you're going to work to mitigate them ahead of time? I mean, I know Hedwig is super difficult as far as like blocking and crazy costume changes.
Yeah, so when I was initially thinking about bringing it to con, the biggest issue that I was thinking of was, oh my god, the blocking could be so complicated that we aren't sure if people are just going to know this on their own. So something that I'm going to be doing is once people are cast in the show, I'm going to have a full blocking write-up as well as a full costume guide that I'll be able to send people. This will make it so much easier for them to get a feel of how our show runs. On top of that, we're also going to send them photos of our past shows so they can also get a feel visually of what they look like.
So I gotta know, are you guys planning on having that crazy full hair suit that Hedwig wears?
We are planning a full hair suit. Yep.
Oh, I mean, that sounds amazing. I always know, like, when I see, like, The Room or one of these other shows that I'm not super familiar with, I'm always sitting there going, okay, maybe I could do that, but I'm not exactly sure. So it sounds like you got that all taken care of ahead of time. That's fantastic.
RKO does juggle so many alternate productions that it's kind of tough to keep track of all of them, but we are thankful to have so many great leaders within our cast who put so much time and effort into making sure that our shows run so well.
For those of us who may not have seen the movie in a long time, or maybe even ever, how many roles are there to be auditioned for?
So Hedwig is actually slightly a bit of a bigger ensemble than some of our other shows. There are 19 total roles within the show, and that includes both main characters and background characters. We obviously have Hedwig, Yitzhak, Tommy Gnosis, which are the main three, but then we also have so many vibrantly just fun background characters and sub-characters that, I would just love to see performed for people that actually really, really want to be in it.
So could you tell us a little bit about what the audition process will be like, if you know right now? Like, can you give our listeners any insight as to what you'll be looking for in an audition for some of the major roles?
Yeah, so essentially for an audition process, it'll run similar to how our other alternate productions get auditioned for at RKOCON. So essentially what will happen is if you keep your eye on the RKOCON page, eventually we'll put up posts about auditioning. And this isn't necessarily just open to people who are on Rocky casts. Anybody could do this. Normally, what the directions will be, you can have a little description of yourself sent to them, as well as a photo of yourself, either in costume or just a headshot. What we would really, really love to see is a video of you performing one of the scenes live. It doesn't have to be in costume or anything, but just so we can get a feel of who you are as a performer, that would be amazing.
Yeah, historically, RKOCons have been very community first when it comes to casting shows. Like, they tend to cast themselves last for performance roles and make sure everyone in the community has a shot at getting picked for the roles they want, which is amazing. You guys are very hospitable. But let's say, in some world, casting comes up a tiny bit short, and there's one role vacancy in this show that you, Rowen, have to fill in for. What would you most want to perform as?
I would have to say probably Hedwig, because that's the role that I had started off with. Although I have been really, really, really wanting to play one of the band members. So in the event that all of these Hedwig roles get filled up, I would absolutely adore being in the band for once.
Nice. Which costume Hedwig, if you had to pick?
Oh, if I had to pick the costume of the Hedwig that I would want to play most, it would probably be Tear Me Down, the opening number, only because I love, love, love the denim outfit that Hedwig wears, and it's just so iconic and memorable that I love wearing it whenever I can.
Amazing.
And lastly, just for fun, you're about to be a casting director for this show, so here's a warm-up. If you had to cast all 4 of us as Hedwig characters, who would we play and why?
Awesome.
All right, so I'll start with John. I have always, always, always wanted John to play Hedwig. I'm just going to put that out there and manifest it. I have always wanted John to play Hedwig. So that is absolutely my pick for that. For Nikki, I would say probably Yitzhak. I feel like Nikki would be able to do an incredible Yitzhak just based off photos that I've seen of Nikki as Rocky or Janet or just other roles. I just think it'd be perfect. For Jacob, I would really love to see Jacob as Schlotko, the drummer, because it's just so chaotic and energetic that I feel like Jacob would be perfect at that. And Aaron, this is going to be kind of out of the pocket, but I would love to see Aaron play baby Hansel, which is Hedwig when Hedwig is younger. It is just so funny. I love when, like, people that are clearly not looking like that role play that role because it just adds so much more comedy to it. So I would absolutely pick Aaron to be baby Hedwig.
Fuck it, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah. 4 down. How many more to go? You said 19?
Yep, 19.
Yeah, 4 down. What is it? 15 to go. Let's go.
Guy does math.
Live on air. Rowen, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We are all beyond excited that we're finally going to get a Hedwig show at a con.
Yes.
Woo-hoo!
So everybody out there, stay tuned for more exclusive info about upcoming con events and how you can participate.
Hey, Rowan, before we leave, is there anything you're working on right now you're doing that you want to share with us or the community?
Well, if you have an interest in seeing the stage production of Hedwig, the original script from the 1998 off-Broadway show, I am currently directing and starring in it in Providence, Rhode Island on November 27th and 28th. So if you'd like to see that, check out my social media, and you can find lots of info.
Trip to Providence, guys? Trip to Providence?
Don't forget to tune in to us, the Rocky Talkie podcast, for all the latest in global and community Rocky Horror news. We're over at RockyTalkiePodcast.com.
We'll see you all at RKOCon 4. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye!
Penis. We're finally gonna get a Hedwig show at a con.
Yes.
Woo, organic excitement.
God damn it, Jacob.